Good evening. You're listening to Adrenaline Radio. I'm your host for Adrenaline Motorsports. My name is Fred Blanchard, and thank you for listening. We have two in-studio guests tonight that are from the car show field. Basically, they are a couple of guests one was a contender for a Riddler Award in the Detroit Autorama, and his name is Brian Basic, and the owner of Roseville Rod and Custom is Benjamin York. I'd like to ask you more about what it takes to be in the kind of business that you're in, because in my visit at your place, you had quite a unique facility, and what really impressed me most is that you have a whole array of skills. You have machine shop capability. You're able to weld exotic metals, which is quite a unique art in itself. You have a complete, what I can tell, a sheet metal shop in the back where you can form and shape anything that you need to have. That's not a standard shop. I mean, you have a lot of things there. You also offer various methods on how to paint and what to paint, and it's just not putting the paint on with a brush. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit about, first of all, the machine shop and why you have it, and then also your sheet metal shop, and talk about some of the metal shaping and things that you have to do in order to do this. I noticed an exotic frame in the back. You can talk about that a little bit for us, Ben. Give us an update on that.
Okay. We started out doing mechanical and fabrication in the beginning, and then the need to fabricate parts came in, and we needed a lathe mill so we could machine and fabricate the pieces of these cars. And as we went along, having to farm out jobs to other types of shops, being paint, upholstery, machine work, metal fabrication, it becomes evident if you want to do a really nice, high-quality car, you've got to have control over every step of the way through that car. Each time you farm it out and try to get somebody else's ideas, things start to change, and you lose that quality control. So as we went along, we just gained more sheet metal equipment, hired guys that were masters at sheet metal fabrication.
Did you learn from those guys and how to fabricate yourself? Is that how you did it, or you had a pretty good idea how to go about doing that?
I started off in the beginning by myself and basically self-taught with my father's help and a lot of trial and error. You learn by doing it wrong. I have learned many things from the guys that I have hired. You're learning every day. There's tips and tricks that you learn every day. So it's not, everybody I've come into contact with has helped teach me, what I know now.
Well, it sounds like to me that it's been a 18-year learning curve, and I guess when you're dealing with exotic materials such as the paints that you use, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. I know that they've changed from the early days of how you were able to paint a car, and now the requirements that you have to have certain things in your shop. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, California's got a lot of rules and regulations on air quality. They've just come out recently and are changing over county by county to water-based from solvent-based paints. We have just made the switch last month over to water-based. They're just real strict on how much solvent can be in a product, how it gets into the air, what you do with it, and at any time they can come in and fine you. So you've got to keep a real clean shop, records of everything.
Well, I got to tell you, in all honesty, it sounds like it's not a business for anybody and everybody. It's a very complex type of a business. Let's talk about some of the award-winning cars that you had, Ben. I know that through the periods of time, as I've seen articles on your wall and some in magazines about cars that you've done, And I know that when I visited there when they had the Sacramento Autorama, you had several cars there on display. Let's talk about some of those cars.
Some of the bigger awards that we have won, starting off with the Sam Barris Memorial Award with the 46 Buick back in 2003. We were Builder of the Year for the Sacramento Autorama in 2006. Just this last year, we built a 39 Ford convertible that won the Good Guys Street Rod d'Elegance at Del Mar, and then it came back at Pleasanton to win America's Most Beautiful Street Rod for the year for Good Guys. And then we had a 68 Ford pickup that we built for a gentleman named Kirk Johnson that ended up winning the Truck of the Year late for Good Guys for the entire year. Those were some of the very biggest lately that we've won.
These particular shows, in order to win those kind of awards, is there a lot of traveling involved when you went to show the vehicles so other people can look at them and I guess they have to be judged? Is that correct?
Yes, and we've toured from Phoenix, Arizona, the Southern California area, Bay Area, Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, Boise. There's a lot of traveling starting this time of year through the winter months, and a lot of time spent setting these cars up in a display so people can see them.
Now, I've seen some of the displays that you've built when you attend car shows. I'm going to ask you this question. I saw one, again, basing it on Wes Cagle's display that he had the last time I saw the car presented. You had share with us a little bit about what you did there. I know that you got very creative and built some unusual components on the display. Why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, on his car we built a complete steel tubing structure around a 20 by 20 foot carpet that the car sits in the middle of, and on each one of his we took a Arius piston and polished it and then engraved Striptease, the name of the car, on it. And under each piston was a light that would light up the name in each of the stanchions. And all of that is to keep people from being able to get too close and handle the car. And then the car was set on a turntable that turned probably 2 to 3 revolutions a minute with mirrors on the floor. So if you walked up to the display, you can see all sides of the car without having to walk around it. You can see all of the chassis and undercarriage in the mirrors.
Well, the quality of work that we saw on this show, and you showed that Camaro, is unbelievable.